order or showed any mercy. Casey loved to watch him duel. She also loved getting a glimpse of that magnificently muscled body. Broad shoulders, solid chest, badass tattoos, big hands that were probably exceptionally skilled at making a girl come. He just had that air about him that said he knew his way around the female form. He was truly, sinfully, achingly good-looking, especially with that full carnal mouth, the sharp cheekbones, and the well-defined jaw dusted with stubble. Depending on how the light hit his hair, it could look anything from pale bronze to ash brown. His appeal went deeper than the surface, though. Eli throbbed with a dark dominance and barely restrained sexuality that made a girl think all kinds of dirty thoughts. Then there was his air of unshakable self-assurance and how unapologetically male he was. Yeah, he sure packed a sensual punch. Casey knew with every bone in her body that he was out of her league. Hell, he was out of her solar system. More experienced, more secure in himself, more everything. Keeping up with the amount of game he'd bring to the table would be a struggle for any female. And now he was watching Casey through those cool, sharp eyes the color of weathered oak. Eyes so piercing they could see through any mask or lie. She could literally feel the heat and weight of his gaze, feel it pulling at her. She'd never fought in front of him before, and it was just her luck that he'd come to the den tonight. She had enough pride that it rankled Casey to know he was watching her lose, particularly since she admired and respected him as a fighter. The bell rung. "Round 3!" the umpire called out. Shit. Standing, Casey rolled back her shoulders. Her gaze flicked to Ignacio, who smirked, the piece of shit. Rage churned inside her, making her blood boil and her fingertips prickle. The bastard had introduced her brother to drugs, got him hooked, dragged Miles down so low that her brother didn't see a way to pull himself back up. And now Ignacio wanted to drag Casey down too. Why? Because that was what twisted people did. God, she couldn't do this. She just couldn't. Honor and integrity were important to her. If she threw this fight, if she let Ignacio take those things from her, she'd hate herself afterward. And it might even encourage him to demand other things of her in the future, like to throw her pack's soccer game or to do certain favors for him. She'd spiraled deeper and deeper down the rabbit hole until there was no way out, a little like Miles had. She needed to make a stand, here and now. Needed to communicate that she wouldn't be his lapdog, that he would never rule or own her. His eyes narrowed in warning, as if he suspected she didn't plan to cooperate, as he'd put it. Well, he'd be right to suspect that. She'd pay off Miles' debt, but she wouldn't lose pieces of herself in the process. Determination welled up from Casey's toes to the top of her head as she strode to the center of the ring. The breeze coming from the ceiling fan fluttered over her skin, ruffling her t-shirt and lifting her bangs. Her mink stood tall, bracing herself to shift and lunge if needed. The animal hadn't liked or understood why Casey was holding back during the fight, and she was sure as hell happy that Casey no longer intended to do so. Her opponent licked her split lip. "You're not gonna win this one, Frost." Casey stared at the fox shifter. Sasha Flint was a good fighter. There was no doubt about it. But she'd never have gotten this far in the fight if Casey had truly let loose on her. Apparently, she'd made the same mistake as Ignacio and had forgotten one thing. Casey was no one's bitch. She swiped out her claws, slashing Flint's face. Casey didn't give her a moment to react. She rammed her foot into the female's ribs and then slammed her fist into Flint's solar plexus, knocking the breath right out of her. Adrenaline pumping through her veins, Casey attacked from all angles, punching, kicking, slashing, and the spectators lost their